All right. And we are live with the Week 10 Sunday morning start sit show. Joined this week, Hollywood at DFFD Win and Sean Lanigan at Lanny1925, or also Lanigan
Nope.
1926 if you listen to the F3 podcast. Um, why don't we, as we kind of send the links out and get everyone into the stream and start collecting questions for this week, why don't you guys just go around, introduce yourselves a little bit, say who you work with, and where people can find your content. Hollywood, you're the guest, so go for it.
All right, I'll go.
Okay, Sean can go.
Yeah, so you can find my written content when I write over at idpguys.org or dynastyfootballdigest.com. I haven't been writing a ton. I usually do most of my writing around draft season because I do a ton of basically rookie profiles and all that stuff. I do the IDP Guys podcast, and then I do the fantasy football franchise, the F3 pod. So we record those on Monday and Tuesday. Usually drop Wednesdays, right?
Generally, yeah.
Yeah. That's where you can find all the podcasts and all my written content.
Cool. So one more time, Hollywood, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
All right. I don't think you can hear us.
You hear us, Hollywood?
Yeah, I hear you, but I can hear you, but everything is repeating.
Oh, that's really weird. We were just commenting on how great your internet was, but apparently that was too soon.
I hate my
It was going strong for a second there.
Yeah, it was good until we started streaming. So, yeah. So what the Hollywood? Do you want to like back out and come back in? And Sean and I, we're still waiting on questions and stuff. Sean, maybe we can talk about the Stafford injury. Do you want to take it away?
Is that really the one thing that you're gonna ask me about? The thing that just breaks my heart and just ruins me here?
It breaks my heart too.
Yeah, well, it's gonna happen against the Bears too, of course. Like, man, that's just terrible. So,
well, at least we don't have Khalil Mack, worrying about him further breaking Stafford down.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the right decision. It just sucks. So, yeah, you don't want to play any of your Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay, T.J. Hawkinson.
What about Danny Amendola?
No, probably don't play any of it, to be honest. It's just too unpredictable who's going to see targets because, well, A, it's probably not going to be high-quality targets from Driscoll, and B, you get backup quarterback syndrome where they definitely tend to have one player that they lock into, and we don't know who it's going to be.
Well, so the backup, Jeff Driscoll, he hasn't been with the team the whole time. So it's not like a Danny Dimes situation where he was on the practice squad and playing with like Slayton and other wide receivers that were like further down the depth chart. This guy probably doesn't have much experience with anyone on the team. Is that correct?
It's not always just about experience though. Like, every quarterback has their favorite targets. Sure. And with established starters, you know who those favorite targets are. With backup quarterbacks, you have no idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, J.D. McKissick could be his favorite target this week, and we just wouldn't know.
So there you go. Sean says, fire up your J.D. McKissick.
I did not say that. I don't start anybody on the lines this week at all.
So speaking of the Lions, we do have a question here. Do you think it's worth playing anyone else with Tracy Walker out?
Probably not. The Lions are pretty unpredictable with their safety usage. So I think with no Tracy Walker, you just don't play any of them. I do like Justin Coleman as a cornerback still. But outside of that, I don't know that you really want to play any of their defensive backs.
And with the Bears' terrible offense, are we going to see much production from the Lions defense?
I think the Bears are probably going to have the opportunity to run the ball a lot because the Lions offense is going to struggle. Mm-hmm. So the Bears are not going to be forced into using Mitch Trubisky as much as they have in the past. So I think you're going to see a lot of David Montgomery, which is going to mean that you're going to probably see an uptick in tackles for the front seven.
Okay. So like your snacks, do you think Davis gets in on that at all?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because we're fantasy players, like I've got Montgomery and have been looking for a breakout game out of him. So
he's had a nice last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been good. Hollywood, how are you looking over there?
I think I'm fixed now. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, good. They took you to the animal shelter, got you fixed.
Yeah, I think so. I was sharing the YouTube. It was double recording, and I could hear you. You would say something, and I'd hear you twice. So.
Oh, you probably didn't mute your YouTube.
I think that's what it was. Because I was like, I hear them, but I think we're good now. Though.
Yeah, I get that too. I think like the first week I had that happen, I was like freaking out, like what's going on? And then I realized because I got multiple screens, so I could just look and be like, oh, hey, we're like 5 seconds behind over there. So, but yeah, cool. We got that going. So tell everyone where they can find you and get your content. And at this point, who your favorite team is, because we were just talking about ours.
Well, my favorite team is not really good. That's the Titans. So we can just move on from that. But you can find me over at Dynasty Football Factory. Do a lot of writing over there. I've put out 3 or 4 pieces this week. You can find me on the IDP Nation podcast with Dan. And we have something or I say we, but it's going to be more me. I think he's just going to help with the producing. But we're thinking about doing an IDP Devy podcast.
Ooh, I'm liking the sound of that. Very good. Very good. Well, so with that, make sure everyone you're getting your questions in. This is a start-sit show, so we kind of rely on your questions to further this down the field. But we usually get some offline questions. Hollywood, you got anything off of Reddit that we could take a stab at? I think I might have some Twitter questions.
Let me get it over here. I'm sure there's a bunch. There always is.
We're going to let some of these pile up here. Huff, Puff, Diggory, I see your question just came in. We will be answering that shortly.
Okay, so
just want to get a few in the chamber so that we can keep the show going.
So
we answer every single question that comes through.
So here's one. What are your thoughts going forward between Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul?
CPP, okay.
So going forward or starting today?
He says going forward, so I'm kind of guessing rest of the season.
Okay. I think that's a toss-up for rest of the season, just because sack production is so volatile. I think I'd probably prefer Shaq Barrett just because he doesn't have the injury concerns. Like Jason Pierre-Paul has come out and played strong since he came back, but I think realistically injuries tend to linger a little longer than what people anticipate, and I think it's possible that we start to see those effects throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah. I think I like what Barrett does, has been doing this year. I'm trying to find third box scores recently, but I think I like Barrett. What do you think, Hollywood?
We lost him again.
Oh no. Okay. So I'm gonna side with Sean here, and let's see. Ooh, Barrett's been up and down.
He has. I mean, that's the reality of
that's
just
reality of it. But like when his downs are down.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's what happens when you have players that are sack dependent. That's just the reality of what happens. So.
Oh yeah. Well, JPP's put together 2 solid weeks, but still sack
That's
dependent.
such a small sample size.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'd probably stick it out with Shaq Barrett if you've got him. I mean, you've been running with him thus far, anyways. So live or die by the sword. So let's get to Huff Puff Diggory here. He asked Boyd, Juju, or Pascal.
All right. Well,
and he actually just updated it to Boyd, Juju, Pascal, or Drake in the flex.
Okay. I think I'm staying off Drake for 1 week just because I want to see what happens with the committee over there. Pascal, I don't really trust, although he definitely has the nicest matchup of them. Then you've got Boyd or Juju, basically. So you got Boyd going up against, I believe, the Ravens this week. And then who do the Steelers have? Steelers, Rams.
Yeah.
I think I might like Juju this week. Yeah, I think I like Juju against the Rams over Boyd against the Ravens.
Gotcha. Okay, so Z Ellis agrees with you. He says Juju Obvi. Hey, we got Hollywood back.
Oh, sorry, guys. I'm so pissed. I will have this fixed by next week.
Sounds good.
All good, man.
Shit happens. All right, so Z Ellis, thoughts on Marquise Blair?
Marquise Blair is an interesting one. He was a really talented player out of college, and he's getting a decent amount of playing time now. I like Marquise Blair for the rest of the year.
Cool. Yeah, I do too. I think with Thompson out and all the injuries they've had, it's smart to have him.
Yep.
Nice. All right, so that's the questions we've got so far. Get your questions in for start sit. Anything you want to know, we're here. We can break it down for you. Let's see. Dougie says morning, Dougie.
Good morning, Dougie. What do you think? Jared Goff versus the Steelers or Baker Mayfield versus the Browns?
Steelers, Baker Mayfield. Did you say Baker Mayfield versus the Browns?
Sorry, versus the Bills.
Okay. Yeah. Is he playing his own team? I mean,
yes, he also has been playing his own team lately.
The Bills. Ooh.
I think both those matchups suck, but I think I'm probably leaning Goff.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning Goff.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Any other? What do you got in the chamber there, Hollywood?
So he asks, is it Darius Smith or Joe Schobert for this week?
Okay. I think I'm going Joe Schobert.
Darius.
I think they're going to be facing a lot of rushing, and I think he's going to be able to rack up the tackles.
You don't think that Smith is going to face a lot of rushing from Carolina?
Smith is going to be sack dependent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. I'll take that.
With that.
Let's see.
Trying
to pull up, see if any
thoughts on
questions on IDP
on Wasser and Baker. Oh, sorry.
Thoughts on what?
Thoughts on Patrick and Wansier, and I'm assuming Jerome Baker.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm not crazy about either.
I'm not really either. I want to take a look at their matchups. I'm having a hard time pulling it up right now. Who are they playing this week?
The Ravens.
The Bengals.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Ravens have Bengals and Dolphins have
Colts.
Colts.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of want to lean Baker just because I think they're going to be on defense a lot because that offense just can't do anything.
And they're out without Brissett this week too, so.
Yeah, they might have to. Well, it's going to be Hoyer ball. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the greatest quarterback of all time, Brian Hoyer.
He's like the underrated Fitzpatrick.
Dude, he just spells plague to whatever team he goes to because whatever team he goes to, eventually their starting quarterback's going to get injured.
Well, let's hope he never gets on the Lions.
I mean, Stafford's out anyway.
Truth.
Could have used him this week for sure.
Yeah.
If they had Hoyer, I think they'd win this game against the Bears, but instead they got Driscoll.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm leaning Jerome Baker though.
No, that's where I'm at. He also wants to know: Are we expecting Tracy Walker to miss serious time, reminiscent of Marvin Jones' shutdown last year?
It's kind of tough to say because I don't think the injury is going to warrant him missing a ton of time. But he's a young player, and this team, like the fact Stafford's not playing, is basically just an indictment of the status of this team.
Right.
So I think this season's probably over, so they're going to play it a lot more cautious with injuries down the stretch.
Yep, probably. All right, so off of Twitter, Doug E. Baddock at dbad3672. He has a few. He needs 2 defensive backs. He had Eric Harris start on Thursday. Very good start there. Jamal Adams, Marquise Blair, or is that Taven Wilson?
Yeah, Lions safety. Yeah. You should know that one.
That's why it looks familiar.
All right, let me take a look at.
He also included it's 2 points per tackle, 1 assist, 1.5 pass defense, 5 for an interception, 4 for a sack, 3 for a forced fumble, 3 for a fumble recovery.
Let's see. And this is to start today.
Yeah, he needs.
Okay, so Adams has the
more.
Giants.
So pick 2 out of Adams.
Who was the choices again?
Jamal Adams, Marquise Blair, Taven Wilson.
I think I'm leaning anywhere other than Taven Wilson just because I don't really know what the Lions are going to do at safety without Tracy Walker. Because Tracy Walker tends to be the tight end eraser. And I just have a feeling they're going to still want someone else to fill that role. And my guess would be Taven Wilson. But it's tough to say. So I think you're going Marquise Blair against the Niners, which should be a nice matchup. I think they'll run the football a lot. And then Jamal Adams versus the Giants, which again should be the same type of situation. Bears are going to run the football a lot too, but I just don't trust Tavon Wilson's role.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Hollywood, you got any more questions there?
Sure. He says, I have to decide between Marlon Humphrey and Darnell Savage this week for my second DB slot. Looks like interception touchdowns are 6, sacks are 5, fumble recoveries and forces are 2, safeties are 2, tackles, solos are 2, assists are 1, and pass defense are 3. So he's got a lot scoring.
Okay. So it was between Savage and Humphrey?
Yes, Marlon Humphrey and Darnell Savage.
Yeah. See, and I really like Marlon Humphrey. I think it's tough, though, because his role isn't as well defined in terms of, like, consistent production. He's getting a lot of counting stats, which is great. Like the forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, interceptions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you'll have down weeks with stuff like that. Yep. And I actually really like I really like Darnell Savage against Carolina because I think he may end up seeing a lot of the McCaffrey looks out of the backfield, and he'll be playing up around the box probably a good amount too.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like it.
Right, I was at with it.
All right. So Dougie asks, Davenport or Burns?
All right. Well, the Panthers obviously have the Packers, whose offensive line is typically pretty good, which is tough. Marcus Davenport, Saints have
Falcons.
Saints have the Falcons. Okay. I think I probably like Davenport this week. Everyone knows I'm a pretty big Brian Burns fan, but I don't trust anybody against the Packers O-line because they get away with murder over there.
Right. And I think Addison's back, is he not? For the Panthers?
That's a good question.
Yes, I think you're right.
I think if he's back, that kind of impacts Burns a little bit. But
yeah, and Davenport hasn't been massively production. Most of his points have come in 2 specific weeks. But I think that Atlanta is a pretty good matchup for him.
Yeah.
right.
Oh, man. So I'm just looking at Addison's report here, and apparently he was out. It wasn't injury. It was death of his brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's unfortunate. So, but at least when he does come back, it's, he won't be dealing with coming off an injury.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. You got any more for me, Hollywood?
I think there's a couple more. I'm trying to understand the question here. Okay, so he says, admittedly, I haven't adjusted my ID player since draft day. Shamey. Should I be making changes? And he's got, I guess this is a small IDP league because his defensive back is Antoine Bethea. D lineman is Joey Bosa. And then at linebacker, he has LVE and Jalen Smith.
Oh, wow.
And Jalen Smith. I guess with that small, it'd be tough to say whether they should adjust it because you got to see who's available.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's a superstar out there, I don't think you're moving a whole lot.
I feel like I'd want to get out of Jalen. I wouldn't want LVE and Jalen Smith.
Yeah, I think you'd want to split one of those off.
Right. And if it's before your trade deadline, you might be able to send him somewhere and get someone in return.
Honestly, with that small league, I don't even think you need to trade for another defensive player. You trade for offense, and then you just pick up defense because there's plenty of productive defenders out there that are probably on the waiver wire.
Yeah, probably. Or you can package them in and get a better wide receiver and then pick someone off the wire.
Yep.
Just getting out from underneath that. So that would be my take. But we got a couple more questions come in. Off of YouTube, Chris Weezy. Morning. If Juju doesn't play today, who do you like better as a last-minute wide receiver pickup? Erickson, Ginn, or Demaryius Thomas?
Wow.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Maybe Alex Erickson.
Yeah, because he does a lot of, if you're getting points for the return game, I think that's his advantage.
Yeah, he's been seeing good volume too.
Yeah.
Baltimore's probably going to put up some points on him, so you're going to have to throw. Yeah, if Juju doesn't play, I think Erickson is my go on that one.
I would agree.
All right. Thoughts on starting Roquan and Deion Jones? Both have regressed. What do you think?
They've regressed from an IDP standpoint this year. I don't think they've regressed from a talent standpoint. So I think realistically, you need to trust that they're going to bounce back because they haven't gotten worse as a player. They just haven't put up the same number of points. I would have more faith in Deion Jones than Roquan Smith, with that said.
All right.
So to piggyback, for me, would you rather have Deion Jones or Levante David?
Deion Jones.
Levante David. What about Devondre Campbell?
Still Deion Jones.
Yeah. Okay. Just curious because on IDP guys, we actually talked about Deion Jones and just how tough it's been to start him. And Johnny was saying that he's been starting Devondre Campbell over him. And because it seems like the tackle production's been going to Campbell.
Yeah. And from a starting perspective, like right now, sure. But
yeah. I wouldn't drop Deion Jones, but I think if you can grab Campbell, maybe he's on your waiver wire. You might be.
So Deion Jones had a bad week 1, and his week 8 was bad. He was on bye this past week, but 7, 9, 8, 11, 6, 11. That's not bad tackle production. If you add in literally any counting stats, you're in good shape. The problem is that he has no sacks, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, interceptions, or touchdowns. So, like, you got to believe that at some point those are going to start coming. So, like, I think if his tackle floor is pretty good, it's the rest of the stuff that hasn't come yet, and that's volatile. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and this stuff happens. All right. Roscoe 15068. Best cornerback streaming options for week 10. Do you guys got any of those?
I have not looked to the cornerback matchups at all. So
pull-ups.
Yeah.
I think DeAndre Baker's a good one against the Jets. He's surprisingly available in a lot of leagues. I've actually picked him up in a few leagues this week.
Okay.
A lot of people are doing what's the kid's name from Tampa Bay that got roasted last week? Help me. Jamal something.
Oh, Jamal Dean?
Yeah. Don't know. I mean, you might look at him because he got tore up last week. So,
yep.
Those are two right off the top of my head that probably are available in most leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to see some of the matchups here.
Or the kid from Miami. Not Rowe, the other one. He had a big game last week. Nick Needham, is that? I think that's his name.
Okay. Let's see. Trying to find some of the ones that. Yeah, so Buccaneers is a great matchup. I think you got a pretty good matchup over in Carolina. I think the Packers will air it out a lot, and the Panthers' offense is strong enough that it'll push them to throw a little bit. Let's see. 49ers Seahawks is kind of a rough one. Yeah, I think those are probably the big matchups that you're going to want to look at.
Sounds good. Let's see. Chris Wheat.
Titans have the Chiefs, so Titans corners are looking pretty good too.
Gotcha. Chris Wiese, Erickson, Slayton, or Beasley?
Erickson, Slayton, or Beasley?
I think I'm leaving Slayton out of it.
Yeah.
I like Beasley.
I think I go Erickson again.
I think I go Erickson too, but I don't mind Beasley either.
Who? The Giants have the Jets, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Hasn't Daniel Jones been targeting Slayton quite a bit?
What?
Do you think the Jets could?
He's been getting some targets. What's Sterling Shepard's deal right now? Is he back?
He's out.
He's out.
Yeah.
So he'll probably continue to see similar targets. The other thing, though, is that I don't know that the Jets are going to force the Giants to throw any more than what they have been. Yeah. So, and Slayton's targets over the last couple of weeks. So he had his 8-target game against New England, but then the next 3 were 2, 5, and 4. So nothing particularly impressive.
No.
So, and I mean, like, the only thing that saved him was the 2 touchdowns against Detroit. So, I think realistically, he's probably your worst option of the group.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. Anyone have an update on DeMarcus Lawrence and if he's starting?
I mean, I don't think that's what the question is. I think they're asking whether they
Gotcha.
Yeah, like, should he start? Let's see. Lawrence has Minnesota.
Unless you have some better options. I don't know how you could sit him, but
yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good matchup too. Kirk Cousins has not been great at avoiding pressure.
Plus they got Michael Bennett to help him now. So
yeah, I don't know why you would sit DeMarcus Lawrence this week.
Okay, there we go. So he's a start. Trey S off of YouTube. He says, "Morning, gents. 3 questions. Seamus Winston and a potential stroke, or Matt Ryan. Marvin Jones without Stafford or Sammy Watkins. Full PPR? ? Is it full PPR? Larry Fitz or Zach Pascal. So Winston or Ryan, Jones or Watkins, Fitzgerald or Pascal.
Ryan for sure. Ryan for sure. God, Jones or Watkins.
I think I take Jones over Watkins.
I don't like either of them. Yeah, I don't feel good starting either of them.
I'd take Fitzgerald over Pascal, though.
I think I might go Watkins over Jones. Ryan over Winston. And then, let's see. Yeah, Fitz just isn't getting the volume he needs. Although, like, they will have to air it out, but I mean, they've been airing it out, and he's just not getting the targets. So, yeah, I'm probably avoiding Fitz.
Alrighty. We got Chris Wiese. Who's the best Williams today? Damian or Jamal in a flex PPR spot?
Pains me to say it, but it's probably Damian this week. I think Jamal is the far better IDP asset, but he just hasn't been putting up the numbers you need him to.
Yeah, I'd have to go Damian as well, but as bad as it
can. Oh, that's Williams. Sorry, my bad. I was doing Adams. Okay, I was thinking Jamal Adams. But yeah, I'm still doing Damian Williams.
Okay. Mbongza. Sure. AJ Brown or Devontae Parker?
AJ Brown.
Brown.
Yep.
Brown. Yeah, Brown. Right. Corey Davis is out. They're going to.
Yeah. Right.
He's been getting volume even with Corey Davis in there, though, ever since Tannehill took over.
And I said it back when they drafted him. He's going to be the number one. He's going to pass out Corey Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So Z Ellis says thanks guys. Love the IDP pods. Good luck this week. Thank you, Z Ellis. I'm going to take this quick second to do some advertising. Make sure you're following at IDP guys, at Dynasty Football Digest, at IDP Nation, for the content that we put out. Hit subscribe on the YouTube so that you can get these live streams directly to your feed, get notified about them. We do a few shows on this stream. We've got the Sunday Morning Start Sits. Sean's part of the F3 podcast, which we put out video form on our YouTube channel, Writer Digest Network. Also, Rated IDP Live going live Friday nights. A lot of great content there. And then idpguys.org, dynastyfootballdigest.com, places where you can get written content for offense and defense. idpguys.org also has premium content in rankings and data, and then a subscriber chat that you can be involved in, all for $1 a month. Also, for if you're looking for fantasy football merchandise, we have a great t-shirt company that we launched. Sean there is sporting one of the shirts, the brand IDP guys. You can get on there. It's myfantasyfootballshirt.com. Tons of just great fantasy football shirts, but then also we're partnering with some of your favorite podcasts to get their merch out there. The IDP guys merch can be found there. You can find IDP Nations merchandise there. Big Three IDP has stuff there, and Dynasty Vipers. And also we are doing special custom shirts for Dynasty Leagues. So we have the Rasta Banana League that I made for Sean.
Which I gotta buy still. I know.
Yep. And we've got our Letterkenny themed league, LA, which I got a shirt there. But contact us if you're looking for custom shirts for your podcast or your Dynasty League. We've got multiple ways of kind of getting into that and getting some shirts for you. So hit us up and follow us at myfflshirts.com or myfflshirts on Twitter at myfflshirts. I'm doing great. All right, so let's get back into questions that built up. So then Z Ellis goes Skull, so I had to go One Pride.
I'm not even saying One Pride today. Not with Jeff Driscoll.
Truth.
I don't even want to watch this game. This is the worst I felt about a game ever.
Yeah.
At least y'all don't have to play the Chiefs. We're going to get roasted this week.
Yeah. Probably.
You don't have Marcus Mariota behind center.
Oh, my God. I can't with you. I take enough of this abuse from Dan. I don't need it from you, too.
I've been giving it to you since you signed Tannehill.
I know.
Chris, can I trust Buda Baker rest of season? Sean Williams is available.
Oh, man.
I like Buda Baker.
Yep.
He's had a nice year. I'm not sure why you wouldn't trust him.
Yeah, he's fine, but I also like Sean Williams too. So.
Yeah, I think they're both good options. I think I prefer Buda Baker though.
Yeah, I think I would. So.
Yep. All right. Hef Tiger. Sup, everyone. Full PPR needed a running back and a flex. Devontae Freeman, Rojo, Breida, Mark Andrews, Calvin Ridley. Starting Coleman, would you bench him? So pick one running back and then a flex.
It's rough.
Well, I definitely like Breida.
Yes.
I think I like him more than Coleman.
Okay.
So if you're deciding between those two, I feel pretty good about that. Let's see.
So you got one running back. So you either pick a running back or a wide receiver. So
yes, pick another player. Who have the Falcons got again?
Saints.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I don't mind Ridley there then. He's been a little inconsistent, but I think I'm going Ridley Breida.
Ridley Breida? All right. Yeah,
I honestly wouldn't mind doing Breida Coleman. Starting both of them. I think they're both startable right now. And if it's tight end premium, then Mark Andrews. So basically I'm avoiding Freeman and Rojo.
Gotcha. You anything to chime in there, Hollywood, before we go on?
Pretty much covered it right there. I'm kind of in agreement with him today.
Yeah, this doesn't happen often.
No.
Yeah.
Chris Wiese again. Best start for cornerback, Peterson or Randall?
Peterson.
I like Randall, I think.
All right. So we just split. Who do you give us your reason?
Okay, so Randall has the Bills, and I think that we're talking Demarius Randall. I'm assuming here. And I think he's going to get a lot more box looks than you're going to see out of Peterson at corner.
He's questionable for tonight's matchup.
Right. If he's playing, I like Randall. If he's not, obviously Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think Peterson's just more of a big play guy.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, he is more of a big play guy for sure. I don't like counting on big plays unless you're starting a good amount of players out of position. Like, if you're starting 4 corners or something like that, then I like playing a couple of safer tackle guys and then going for a big play guy as well. But I think counting on interceptions and stuff is generally not good business.
No, it's usually not. I agree with that.
Cool. So what was the deal with Peterson? Did you go through that?
Wait a minute, what was the deal?
Like you talked up Randall, and then
he said he likes Peterson as the big play guy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Sorry. All right. So we got friend of the show, potential father of the year. Can't keep his kid out of the woods. Snacks IDP. Actually playing him in a league this week, but so Shaq Griffin or that Dean kid from Tampa Bay. I don't know much about him.
Yeah,
the better player is Griffin.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Griffin's the much better player. Dean has apparently got some elite track speed or whatever, but I watched him last week, man, and he was getting roasted. They picked on him the whole game. So,
yeah, and I like Dean as a long-term prospect, but he's kind of the perfect combination of just like going to see a lot of playing time and is very raw, so they're going to pick on him, and I think he's gonna put up some numbers.
Yeah, I mean, getting picked on is kind of what you want in a corner.
My worry
at least for the short term.
Oh yeah.
Dean right now would be, does he get picked on so much and roasted so much that they pull him and try somebody else? That would be my worry.
Yeah, I think at that point, if you get if they're picking on him so much, you probably already got your numbers for the day,
Yeah. So, Snacks points out
week was horrible for him.
that they pick on Shaq too.
Yeah, they do. But God, who did the Buccaneers have? They got somebody who's airing it out this week. Yeah, they got the Cardinals. So Cardinals are going to be throwing the ball a ton. So I think if they're picking on Dean, then he's going to see a ton of volume. Yep. Because the Seahawks had
San Francisco.
Yeah, and they're going to be running the ball a lot more.
Yeah, I think your best bet is that Dean kid. But all right, guys, get your questions. We're gonna probably wrap this up. So last call for questions. Sorry we got going a little later this week, but we will be back on it next week. I got a few guys planned for next week to come on. So looking forward to that. And let's see, Snacks comes back with the thank you. If Dean not on waivers, I'll grab him. Not gonna make or break. It is a bad matchup. Good shit, boys. Good shit. All right, so get those questions in last minute. You guys have any lineup decisions that you're making right now?
I have so many of them. I haven't even looked yet. What do we think about Darius Geis coming back next week potentially?
Oh man, I take that back. I only have like 2 shares in like 50 leagues.
Oh man, I have so many shares of Darius Geis.
Well, I did at one point, and then when the injury thing just kept recurring, I was like, you know what, I'm done. I just
kept buying, man. I just kept buying.
I mean, I like him.
If he like every time he got hurt, he just got cheaper, and I just kept buying him. So I don't know. I am really hoping he can take away AP's job over there.
Yeah, I mean, he should be able to. He was the one that was drafted into that spot, so
right.
Yeah, they like to just use a bunch of different running backs if they can.
Do they really know what they're doing? I mean, since
no, they don't know what they're doing.
But I'm saying, since they got rid of their head coach, I mean, have they created an identity for themselves, or are they just
they have. It's running the ball. I
exactly,
love Brian Callahan's quote.
Yes,
his quote that was like, "I don't care about running efficiency. I care about rushing attempts." Because the team that runs the ball the most times usually wins. It's like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. The absolute dumbest shit. I don't care if we rush for -2 yards. If we do it enough times, we're going to win this game.
I guess if you rush 50 times for a net -2 yards,
you got to win the game because the other team probably didn't run it 50 times.
Right. Wow.
Like, the fact that there's still coaches out there that don't understand how numbers work is just crazy to me. It's like, man, of course, like the team that runs the ball the most usually wins the game. It's because they're leading the game, and so they're allowed to run more.
Yeah, that's amazing. But like I said, last call for questions. We're going to wrap this up in a couple minutes. While we do so, one more time, let's go around the room. This time we'll start with Sean.
We started with me last time.
Well, we started with Hollywood last time, and then he glitched the fuck out. So let's just intend to start with you this time, Sean, unless you glitch the fuck out. But then
I'll just hang up on your ass.
But
all right, so my name is Sean. You can find me at Lanny1925 on Twitter, LANNY1925.
It's also on the screen.
What was that?
It's also on the screen.
I don't know, whatever. But yeah, then you can find my written content over at idpguys.org, dynastyfootballdigest.com. I do the IDP Guys podcast. I do the F3 pod. Those usually drop around Wednesdays sometime. But F3 pod, we talk dynasty, we talk offense. We basically go through pretty much everything that happened that week in the games and then kind of how it affects the dynasty stock of players. We kind of talk their values, whether we're buying, selling, and what our price point would be for those guys. And then IDP Guys, we kind of talk a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, IDP, offense, but try and give you kind of a one-stop shop at least for if you don't want to listen to a million different pods. But that's also a good thing to do, is to listen to a million different pods and get the best information and put it all together so that you can make good decisions. Speaking of a million different pods, Hollywood, tell us a little bit about where people can find you and what you do.
Of course, Hollywood at DFFDwin on Twitter. I have a IDP Facebook Nation page. I do the IDP Nation podcast with Dan, where, like I mentioned earlier, we're thinking about doing an IDP Devy. I'm here on Sunday mornings with you guys. Actually, from time to time on IDP Rated Live with y'all. And I've been making the rounds around the podcast nation. So I'm almost to be anywhere. And then, like I said, you can Dynasty Football Factory's where I ride. I got a bunch of stuff coming out there, so check that out.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. And also, you guys have been doing that Devi Dimes. If you want to go into that a little bit.
Oh, the Devi Diamonds?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been having some success. Most of them are Division 2, but we've had some Division 1 guys come on and do interviews, and we've wrote those up, and we've been promoting them. If you'll follow me on Twitter, I've been pushing their stats and their names out there, and there's a lot of good players out there that people just don't know about that they should.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Also, Hollywood and I are moderators on the Fantasy Football IDP subreddit. I like to give them a shout out whenever possible. Go there. It's good discussion. Good place to just gather some information, talk about IDP on Reddit. If you're not familiar with Reddit, it's basically like message boards. And
who the hell's not familiar with Reddit?
I don't know. I didn't know much about it until like
Here we go
10 years ago.
again. I swear, until about 3 years ago, I had no clue.
You guys are old.
Well, either way, the Reddit, what do we got? Like 6,000 subscribers on that sub. So trying to push it, get it some more exposure.
So, yeah.
And I've been doing kind of the design work, making the sub look good. Hollywood's been getting the questions going and keeping everyone in line. So it's been a good collaboration between the two of us there. But also make sure you guys are going to idpguys.org, dynastyfootballdigest.com, checking out the F3 pod on this YouTube channel and our other shows. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you're alerted to any content that comes up on here. But with that, we got no more questions, so we're gonna go set our lineups. And oh man, right under Juju or AJ Brown, I have Samuels in lineup. This is what we're gonna go out on, guys.
AJ Brown,
1976.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought you were ending the show there.
Yep. All right, guys. Everyone, good luck. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.